Hello and welcome to another video. So in today's video, we're going to talk all about another one of my MEPS experience. This time I went to swear in. So I'm going to give you guys a full rundown on that whole experience. If you want to see from the beginning of my process until now, which has been about a month's time, I'll link that on my playlist for you guys. And if you want to see like some of the things that I do throughout the day that is kind of preparing me to go to these milestones, like swearing in, like just starting the whole process, take a look at the Vlogtober videos. A lot of it's in there, or my day in the life videos. You'll find some of the stuff in there. And I'm only saying that for the people who watch this video like in the future. I also want to say that if you are a mother, a wife, or you're in my age group, my videos would be very beneficial to you as far as it relates to that. I can't necessarily help the person who is, it's not that I can't, it's like my experience will be totally different from someone who doesn't have any children, someone who's 18. It's not that it might not be helpful to you, it's like our experience is different. And I say that because I want to definitely put this out there. Everyone's experience is different. I have not watched any videos like this. I'm just not one of those people. I like to experience things for myself. I don't like to watch a bunch of videos. However, I know that some people do, which is why I'm making my experience. And I also want to say, like, I heard a lot of chatter there. Everyone, heard different things. The recruiters tell you different things. And the reason why that is because every single person will have a different experience as they go to MEPS. I'm saying this because even my roommate, okay, and I had two roommates the 2 times that I went. Each of them had a different experience than me, okay? So take all of this information with a grain of salt, being that this is my experience. So if someone tell you they had a terrible time at MEPS, just know that that might not be your experience. And it is going to differ largely on, are you hiding anything? Are you lying? Is this the time for you to do this? Is this the right decision for you? I witnessed a lot of people when we were getting ready to go to the hotel. One guy was in there signing his son up. He wanted his son to sign up. His son was barely doing any talking. The dad was doing all of the talking. So I find a lot that parents are pushing their kids to want to do something, and then it'll just push and get them into the army, okay? And the kids are totally confused, totally lost. It's a new generation of children who are very different than the ones before. So they're just very, they're pressured into this situation. And going into a pressured situation, you're not really scoring good, perhaps on the ASVAB, and you don't get a good job choice. There's a lot of all that going on. So I just want to say that take every experience with a grain of salt, being that it may not be your experience, okay? So I want to get that started before we go into my experience this time around, okay? So I have my water here. I have some cotton in my ear because my ear, it's cold outside today and my ear started bothering me, so just put a little cotton in there if you see it. So the first thing is this had been in the works for a week. So the last time I left from MEPS from doing my physical, my recruiter already scheduled me to go back. So this was something that we planned. He wanted to get all the information in. You might be one of those people who do everything in one day. However, I have a family, I have children and I have a husband, and there's a lot of paperwork involved with making sure all that is correct. And then the job and stuff like that you choose might make you have to go through other processes depending on what it is that you need. So it wasn't a thing where I just went over there one day and did everything in a day. And I'm so glad that I didn't, because I don't think it was possible. Some people actually stayed the night, so they did their ASVAB one day and then they came back and did some people just do it all in one little block. I didn't do that. That's not the way my recruiter's office did it. I imagine if you live pretty far away from MEPS, then you would do it that way. I don't live that far away from MEPS, so that's not the way that we did it. So I went down there the night before. So I went down there Monday night. I went to the recruiter's office Monday night. It was me and 2 other people. Checked into the hotel at around 3:20 and chilled out in the room. I told you guys about the whole hotel process. This time there was way less people than when I went for my physical there, which was very interesting because the physical I thought would be a more stressful part. So having so many people there, it was just different. So we went there, we checked in, woke up at the same time in the morning. I believe I was the first one. Me and my roommate was the first one to load the bus. We were the first women to get off the bus. We were the first women in line. So you would have thought that our day would have went quicker, but it did not. So once you get in, they line up the shippers. Of course, they take care of the shippers first because they have flights and things like that to get. I don't know the whole shipping process. I know what I heard from the personnel in there. They have to go through and get weighed. I believe they get a drug test again, and then they move through they kind of do check-in things, making sure everything is everything, looking over their contract one more time, things like that. Their process is different than everyone else's. So when you go in the building, you go through the security checkpoint. Then they split you up. People who go to medical, and then us, we went up to the 3rd floor. You put all your, everybody goes to the 3rd floor. You put your bags in, you go to your recruiter's office, you go to your designated military office, and then they send you back to the front, who they'll give you where you need to go, what floor you need to go. And from there, if you need to go to medical, you'll go to medical. And if you need to do something else, wherever you need to go, they will lead you at that point. So for us, because all 3 of the people that I went with, we were all enlisting that day, we were told to stay on the 3rd floor. If you leave the 3rd floor, you will not be let back on the 3rd floor, and therefore you will not be able to swear in on that day. Okay, so we had to wait up there. And the thing is, even though the building is open and it seems that everything is moving, the people don't really get there until 8 o'clock. And I'm just being honest with you, they're government employees, and there's a time that they come. They really work office hours. I know that people think sometimes they don't be working all that hard. Not the people on the 3rd floor, they get there at a certain time, not a moment before. Okay, so we were sitting around. I'll show you guys a picture of the little lounge room. It opened up at one point. They had coffee and snacks and things like that. I wasn't, it wasn't the physical day, so I didn't need to skip out on eating any of the snacks. However, I didn't want to eat any of the snacks, so I didn't. Just kind of chill out. We were allowed to get our phones, so we were playing on our phones and just sitting around. It was a lot of sitting around. We got up there at about, we got in the building, let's say we got there around 6 o'clock. So we woke up at 3, and by the time we got in the building to our designated area, it was around 6 o'clock. And we did not get seen, the process didn't start until around, no, they didn't get there until about 8 o'clock. The process didn't actively start until about 10. So there's a whole bunch of waiting, more so than when we did the physical. When we did the physical part of it, I noticed that we were waiting, but it's a different kind of waiting because you're waiting for the next process. So you see what's coming next, This was just waiting, literally just lounging around and waiting. I brought some string with me, and I was doing little crafts and stuff like that. We waited so long, I actually finished the whole bracelet. So a lot of waiting, okay? Then they call the names. There was no particular order. We tried to figure out what kind of order they were going in because my last name begins with the I. There was somebody else's last name who began with the R. They went before me, so there was no particular order. I believe it was the order that the recruiter sent the information. So one by one, they called us to the guidance counselor office. And I'm only speaking about the people who are only enlisting that day. They called us to the guidance counselor's office, and then back there, you go over your contract, you go over your jobs, you answer security questions and things like that. Now, this is the part that I thought I won't say I was stressed out about it, but I didn't know what to expect because everyone reported something different. The people who were in the building that day reported something different. They'll ask different questions. So the only thing that you need to focus on is telling the truth, because you telling the truth, the truth needs no explanation. You don't need to write it down. You remember the truth. Lies need explanations and things like that. So maybe the feedback that I was hearing from people were people who were lying. Another thing it depends on what kind of job you get. So the job that I needed a certain level of security clearance. Everybody's job doesn't need that. My roommate's job, I believe she needed top security clearance. So everyone has a different level of questioning that they need to answer. The only thing you need to make sure of is that you're answering things accurately. So the 2 people that I came with, they end up going to, I believe, the 2 o'clock swearing. And I was getting kind of antsy because we had been sitting there all day. And it's okay, am I going to get to go to the 2 o'clock swearing? And I did not, because my guidance counselor, my recruiter, they all had to work together. They had to call the high school that I graduated from and verify that these classes, that I actually took these certain classes, because those 2 classes were necessary for the job that I wanted. Everyone does not have to do that. It's going to depend on your job. So because they needed to make verification, they had to reach out to the commander. He had to sign off on something. So I didn't get a chance to make it into the first group of people who swore in. I believe there was 3 swearing times. It was 10, no, I think it was 11, 12, and then the last group was around, we swore in around 4 something. So yeah, I had to wait around, and they put you into another room where you do like more fingerprint. So after you go from that, after you're done with your guidance counselor, you'll sign off on everything. They'll make sure everything's verified. They'll get your mama, your daddy, they got my in-laws, like they got all your information, okay? So you leave from there, and then I believe they get all your information, like I said, depending on if you need some security clearance, but you are going to be divulging a lot of information. You go back to the check-in office where you went to in the morning. They give you a little slip, and then you go in the back so that they know what phase you're in. You go in the back, you get your fingerprints done. Because I was the only person back there at that point in time for that swearing group, things moved a lot quicker. The first swearing group at 2 o'clock, they had like, let's say 30 people. So they had to do a lot more waiting. So all the waiting I was doing in the hall, I would have been waiting with them, you know, had I not been waiting in the hall. Everyone goes at the same time. So the Army, the Marines, the Air Force, everybody is doing this process all together after you leave those designated military offices. So like I said, you go in the thing, you get your fingerprints done, you meet with another kind of like a security officer. Still don't know if this is just job specific. You meet with them. She goes over again your contract, make sure all of that security information is correct, verify that it's you, and then you leave and you go back to your recruiter's office. I mean, not your recruiter's office, the guidance counselor's office. They then go over the contract again, okay? And then you sign it there. So you sign this contract so many times. They want to make sure that everything's accurate, that you can't say this person did X, Y, and Z. Like, you literally signed this contract like 5 times. So you signed it again. And then once you signed it from there, you are going to leave from there, and they call this phase 2, go back to the check-in point and sit down and wait until everybody who's supposed to be in that swearing group is in there. We only had 3 people. No, we had 4 people in there, and including myself, so 3 people. We're waiting for 3 additional people. They thought they were waiting for a 5th person, so we really could have been done like 30 minutes before. But that last swearing group, they'll try to get everyone who's in the building in that group. So, you know, I think it's better you can't really dictate how long it's gonna take, honestly. So they had us all in that group. They took us all to the back. You have to do like, there's little stances that you have to do. I don't know the names of them all. I know that one of them is called parade rest, and the other one is at attention. I think that's what it was. I know the one's called parade rest. So anyway, we did the whole oath thing. We had to go into a room and watch, like, basically telling you that you in there like swimwear, and it's illegal for you to separate yourself after you move to this next point. So just a little bit more rules. They go over the sexual harassment thing again. You go to the back, you sign off. Okay? And yes, your whole contract is right there. You're signing it again. So then you go in the room and you give the oath. And you go back to the other room and then you sign off. So they know that you did it. So he did let me record in the room. There was one doc I recorded. I used my thing. Nobody else was really interested in recording it. And then they had another guy in there recording like the whole ceremony as a whole. It was in a cute little room. So that was it. Then we left from there. We went back to our like guidance counselor's office, and they gave us this bag. So no, then you signed off on it again. You signed off on it again in the guidance counselor's office, and then they gave us this bag. So as you can see, I haven't opened it. I don't know what's inside of it. And then they gave us this folder. This folder consists of everything that we did during that day. So let me just look. Record of emergency data, record of military processes. So yeah, all of my documentation is in this folder. And congratulations, a successful reservation was completed for. So, and my contract. So that's what's in this folder right here. And this is a folder that I had to carry around along with me all day long. So here is the bag right here. We're gonna open it together. Actually, let me fix the camera. All right, so here's the bag. And inside of it, it's a cute little bag, a sturdy bag. So is there anything in there? Nothing in there. So, oh, there's shirts. I got a medium, and it looks perfect actually. So there are 2 shirts that look just like this. Oh no, they look different. So here's the first shirt, a polo, and the other shirt that's nice. Look at that. And then there's the other shirt. So they gave us 2 shirts, and then looks like Army Pocket Physical Training Guide. That's nice. We're definitely gonna look at that. Proud parents. So okay, I can't see it because it's like backwards, but they're bumper stickers. Another bumper sticker. And guide for future soldiers and family. So that's what's inside of there. So that's what's inside of the bag. And after that point, then I left to go meet the other 2 recruits that came in there with me. And we called our recruiter, which was already there because I was keeping up with him, like to let him know where I was in the process. He came to get us. We went back to the office. He then set us up with our future soldier portal, which I'm gonna go through and finish all that stuff today. Gave us our direct deposit thing that you have to go ahead and like, I'm gonna get all that stuff set up. I actually already did it. I went to the bank today. And yeah, and we have to go back to the office to do like a strength test. I think it's called like, I don't know. It's called a strength test. It's a strength test, but it has like, you know, it's a strength test, okay? So we have to go back there, do the strength test, and basically that's it. I only have less than 20 days. So I am definitely, like I said, going to continue to look at this training thing. If you want to see what I'm doing as far as workouts and stuff like that, like I said, look at those Vlogtober videos. You'll know what I'm doing. Basically, I'm just running. Like this morning, I did a 2-mile run. And then this afternoon, I'm going to do another 2-mile workout and then doing calisthenics. That's been working out well for me. My mile time is getting better. I'm able to do it more effortlessly. So that's a good thing. The next stage is just getting everything together for the house. Like I said, I'm a mother and a wife, so I'm setting my kids up, making sure that they have everything that they need in like their doctor's appointments and things like that. I am going to make a doctor's appointment for myself, like an eye appointment, just so I can bring that paperwork with me. I heard that it's, not imperative, but you can bring along with you your immunization records. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do as much as I can. I also have an Amazon order that I'm going to place for some stuff that I'm going to bring. And I guess we can talk about that. When I went to MEPS, I bought a backpack. Like a regular backpack is over there. I'm not going to pick it up. It's a regular backpack, and I'm going to do the same. I am going to purchase like a backpack to go to basic training with, but I'm not going to bring more than that. If it can't fit inside the backpack, I'm not going to bring it. One of the things that I do plan on buying are menstrual panties, because I know they probably will not have those at the stores on post, and that's something that I like to use. You buy what it is that you need within like the requirements of what you can bring. My recruiter said all that stuff is inside of the future soldier portal thing, so I'll look over that and I'll do a separate video about those things for you guys. But yeah, I think that's it. I just want to leave you with like, if this is something that you want to do, if it's the right timing for you to do it, don't let anyone else's experience discourage you from doing it. Because I heard a lot of discouraging stories. I seen a lot of discouraging things while I was there. And you know, some of the people are younger. I met a lady that was older. I will say though, don't let anyone push you into doing a job that you don't want to do or that you are afraid of doing. I sat next to a girl when I did my physical who they told her infantry was available, and she was clearly scared, but was like, it's kind of, I gotta do what I gotta do. I want the Army to pay for me to go to nursing school. It's like, you could just go to nursing school. You can take out loans, student loans, and you can go to nursing school. You don't have to do this to get that. So really assess the reason why you want to do this, okay? If you're, that's all I'm gonna say. Assess why you want to do it, and make sure that all of the other possibilities are exhausted before you do something as serious as this, thinking that you're going to get something else that you might not get, okay? Jobs are very important. I sat next to a lady who was older than I was, and she was upset because she only had 3 job options, and they told her that only one of those jobs were available, and it was a job that she didn't want. but she was almost desperate. Like, oh, well, I have to do this. I have to take the job. But she wasn't excited about the job. I'm excited about my job. Okay, very excited about my job. People were asking me what my job was. I let them know, and everyone's like, what? I'll let you guys know like way later what my job is. You can guess down below in the comments, but I'm excited about it. It definitely suits my personality, and I'm excited about it. Don't let nobody sign you up for 4 and 6 years to do something that you're not excited to do just because you want to join, okay? Just because there's some kind of bonus or something like that. Like, there'll be bonuses, and there'll be times to join other than that. Just don't, this is serious, take it serious. I saw a lot of kids, like I said, who were like, oh, I want to buy a Camaro with my bonus, and just not think about it as a whole picture. And that's kind of part of life too. So they did serve lunch in there. I didn't even look at the lunch because it was something cold, and it looked like the same sandwiches that they had before. So I would say bring something to eat too. Bring yourself your favorite snack, a water, some Gatorade, sparkling water. Bring something, because the pickings are slim, and it is a lot of waiting. It's a lot of waiting. Go in there with them. Like I'm telling you right now, it's a lot of waiting. It's not gonna be, even though you're waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, like I was so sleepy last night when I came home, I fell into sleep. It's a lot of waiting. So be patient. If you're a person who lacks patience, you're gonna have a hard time with the military in general, but especially with MEPS, okay? As always, if you have a question, ask a question, and I will see you guys in the next video.